And welcome to Political Notebook, when we talk with analyst Wendy Schiller about the hot political topics of the week. Thanks for coming in, as usual. Tonight, we're running a debate with the Democratic gubernatorial candidates, another one tomorrow night. Are these debates important, do you think, for voters as they try to make the decision about who to choose?
I think because the race is so tight, because really between Angel Taveras and Gina Raimondo on the Democratic side and Alan Fung and Ken Block on the Republican side, I think it's very important that voters pay attention, because we're going to start to see some separation. You know, because the polls aren't moving and they're really neck and neck, these candidates are going to have to break out at some point. They're going to have to say something a little different, maybe a little controversial. So we're going to wait. But these debates, as they move along, should produce a little more difference between the candidates, because it's the only opportunity to really showcase yourself and distinguish yourself from everybody else.
And there's an evolution during the campaign as they get better at debating, or as they start to hone in.
Exactly, and new issues come up. So when new issues come up, they're asked about different questions, different policy questions. So how they respond to that will make a difference. It also gives other candidates like Todd Giroux a chance to get out there and show what he's got, even though, you know, it's a long shot for him.
In the Providence mayor's race, now we've seen one of the key independent candidates drop out. Lorna Drain has gone, and it looks like he was pretty much doing this to try to stop Buddy Cianci.
Yeah, he was very explicit. He said, I'm getting out because I don't want a four-way race that gives Buddy a chance to get in. I want to make sure he doesn't get reelected. I think it's bad, not reelected, but elected again. Bad for the city, and it's bad for the state's reputation. And he's adamant, and a group of people have formed an organization to try to stop Buddy from getting in. And even Dan Harrop, the Republican, I haven't heard a lot about it, might also consider dropping out, which would leave only major candidates, the Democratic nominee and Buddy Cianci and a few others. So I think that the ground is shifting a little bit, and there seems to be a little bit of a groundswell pushback against a possible Cianci candidacy and win.
Now, big news, of course, currently is at the border with these unaccompanied minors. They're showing up by the thousands. And there's some question as to whether they might end up here in Rhode Island.
Yeah, the border crisis is a product of a 2008 law signed by President Bush to help children who are a part of smuggling, to make sure that if they could escape, they could stay here and have sanctuary. The problem is that there's so many thousands of them now that are coming through, and they're illegal, undocumented, and this is a problem because they can't support themselves. And what do we do? I mean, so it's a huge problem. Rhode Island's always been a sanctuary state. We've always taken in more people than we've excluded. But we haven't heard a lot from our leadership on that, the domestic leadership, the governor, or the Washington leadership. We need to hear a little bit more about what they think about this.
All right, Wendy Schiller, that's Political Notebook.